She drank fresh lime juice at a restaurant in India. Clean glass, cold ice, cloth napkins on the table. Her parents sat across from her and ordered the same thing. The juice was safe, the limes were safe, the glass was clean. The ice was not. 29 days later, her skin turned yellow, her eyes turned yellow. She stopped eating. She stopped getting out of bed. Her parents had tried to vaccinate her before the trip. 5 calls in 10 days, 2 clinics, 1 pharmacy, 1 locked door on a Saturday morning. They did everything parents are supposed to do. The system did nothing back. She was 7 years old. This is Diagnosis Glitch. Caleb and Wren Fielding live in Glen Ellen, Illinois, suburb west of Chicago. Caleb is a project manager at a logistics firm. Maren is a pharmacist at a Walgreens 10 minutes from their house. Their daughter Wren was born at Northwestern Medicine in Chicago. She is 7. She draws elephants on everything: notebooks, napkins, the margins of her spelling tests. She told her 2nd grade class she was going to India to see real ones. The trip was Caleb's idea. His company had a client in Bangalore. He pitched extending it into a 2-week family vacation. Bangalore first, then south to Karelia. Backwater boats, temples, beaches. Maren said yes before he finished the sentence. They had never traveled outside North America. A month before the flight, they went to a travel medicine clinic in Naperville. Both received a hepatitis A vaccine and a typhoid vaccine. The nurse went through the precautions. Bottled water only, sealed cap every time. Avoid raw foods, eat at restaurants, not street stalls. Then she asked, "Any children traveling with you?" "Our daughter, she is 7. She needs hepatitis A as well. It's on the routine childhood schedule, so she may already have it. Check with her pediatrician. If anything is missing, get it before you fly." Maren asked if the travel clinic could administer it. The nurse said yes, but Wren would need a separate pediatric intake appointment. Maren said she would handle it through the pediatrician. Faster, 1 visit instead of 2. She called the pediatrician's office from the parking lot. Not the next day, not after her shift, from the parking lot before she started the car. The receptionist pulled Wren's chart. Silence on the line. Then, "I'm not seeing hepatitis A on her immunization record. It looks like it was never given." "That cannot be right. She has had everything. She has her MMR, her flu shot every year, but hepatitis A shows no record. It may be a transfer issue." When Wren was 2, the Fieldings moved from Naperville to Glen Ellen. New suburb, new insurance, new pediatrician. The old office transferred records. The transfer was incomplete. Hepatitis A is not required for school entry in Illinois. There was no gate, no flag, no system that caught it. 2 doses never given. But Maren did not accept a blank line on the chart. She scheduled the appointment. Thursday, 8 days before the flight, Maren left work early, pulled Wren out of school, drove to the pediatrician, signed in, waited. The nurse came out after 20 minutes. "Mrs. Fielding, I'm sorry. We're out of the pediatric hepatitis A vaccine. Our supplier has it on back order." "When will it come in?" "Possibly Monday. We can call you." "We fly Sunday." The nurse paused. "I'm sorry." Maren called the DuPage County Health Department that evening. Earliest pediatric vaccine appointment, 19 days out, 9 days after the flight. She tried her own Walgreens. She is a pharmacist. She administers vaccines every single day, but in Illinois, vaccinating a 7-year-old requires a physician's prescription. She called the pediatrician's office Friday morning and asked them to send the order to her pharmacy. "The doctor will send it over today." By closing time, nothing had arrived. Maren called back. The office was closed for the weekend. Saturday morning, Caleb drove to the pediatrician's office himself, parked in front of a locked door, called the after-hours line, left a message. No one called back. They flew Sunday. 5 attempts, 10 days, pediatrician out of stock, county booked solid, pharmacy waiting on a prescription that was never signed, a doctor's office dark on a Saturday, 1 vaccine. That is all they needed. 1 needle in 1 small arm. The system could not deliver it. The week before the flight, Marin's mother called from Peoria. She calls before every trip. She's called before every trip since Marin left for college. Did Wren get her shots? Mom, we've been trying. The pediatrician ran out. I called everyone. We couldn't get it in time. What's missing? Hepatitis A. Her mother was quiet for a long time. She'll be fine, Mom. Bottled water, cooked food. We're being as careful as we can. Remember that silence. Because sometimes what a grandmother does not say is louder than anything she could. And by the time anyone hears the answer, a 7-year-old will be in an ICU 8,000 miles from her grandmother's kitchen. The family landed in Bangalore on a Wednesday morning. Wren pressed her face to the taxi window and pointed at every auto rickshaw. They were careful, more careful than the travel clinic even required. Marin bought bottled water on the first day, sealed cap every time. She opened every bottle herself. They ate at restaurants with visible kitchens, cooked food, served hot. Nothing raw. They followed every rule they were given. After a week in Bangalore, they flew south to Kochi, Kerala. Backwater boats, spice markets. Wren saw her first elephant at a temple festival and did not stop talking about it for 3 days. Day 10, a restaurant in Kochi. Air conditioning, printed menus, tablecloths, a kitchen visible behind glass, the kind of place travel blogs call safe, the kind of place you trust with your child. Wren orders fresh lime juice, Nimbu Pani. It arrives in a tall glass with 3 ice cubes, cold and sweet. She drinks it through a straw. She asks for a second. Caleb and Maren order the same thing. Same glass, same ice. Caleb asks the waiter, "Is the water bottled?" "Yes, sir." He did not ask about the ice. In Glen Ellen, ice comes from the tap. The tap is clean, so the ice is clean. That is the assumption he carried 8,000 miles without knowing he was carrying it. Nobody asked about the ice. The juice was safe. Lime juice is acidic. But hepatitis A does not care about acid. The virus is stable at low pH, and freezing does not kill it. The CDC says this directly. Hepatitis A survives freezing. It can be transmitted through ice and frozen foods. The ice was made from municipal tap water, not boiled, not filtered. Somewhere upstream, fecal contamination had entered the supply. A food handler carrying the virus, shedding it 1 or 2 weeks before their own symptoms appear, looking perfectly healthy, touching every surface in that kitchen. The ice cube sitting in a glass of lime juice on a hot afternoon is not a safety measure, it's a delivery system. The Fieldings bought bottled water, they avoided street stalls, they chose a restaurant with tablecloths and air conditioning. None of it mattered. The ice was made from the same water they were trying to avoid. The family flew home. Wren showed her class the photos, the elephants, the boats, the colors. She drew the temple elephant in her journal and wrote underneath, "I want to go back." Hepatitis A has an incubation period of 15 to 50 days, average 28. For nearly a month, the virus replicated inside Wren's liver, billions of copies, hijacking her cells. Her immune system had not raised the alarm. She felt nothing. The cruel biology is this: the virus does not destroy the liver directly. When the immune system finally detects the invasion, it attacks not just the virus, but every cell harboring it. The body's defense turns on the organ it was trying to save. Day 28, Sunday evening. Wren pushes her plate away. "I'm not hungry." Monday, low fever, 100.4. Tuesday, 101.2, nauseous. Wednesday, vomiting. Home from school, she lies on the couch and does not draw. Thursday, 102.8, she will not eat. Marin gives her children's Tylenol. Standard dose, what every parent gives, what every bottle says to give. Marin is a pharmacist. She followed every fever protocol there is. She had no reason to suspect her daughter's liver was failing underneath a fever that looked like every other childhood illness she had ever seen. The disease hides inside the ordinary. That's how it works. Friday morning, day 32. Marin opens Wren's bedroom door, turns on the light. Her daughter's face is yellow. Not pale, not flushed, yellow. A color that does not belong on a child. She checks the eyes. The whites are yellow, deep and unmistakable. She checks the bathroom. The urine is dark brown, the color of cola. Marin knows what jaundice means. She knows it means the liver. She does not call the pediatrician. She does not wait for the office to open. She drives to the emergency room. Liver enzymes come back at more than 15 times the upper limit of normal. Bilirubin is high and climbing. Her blood is losing its ability to clot. The ER doctor asks, has she traveled internationally? India, 5 weeks ago. Hepatitis A IgM antibody test, positive. Is she vaccinated? Marin opens the patient portal on her phone, scrolls to immunizations. Hepatitis A, no record found. She stares at the screen. The pediatrician, out of stock. The county booked 3 weeks out. The prescription that was never signed. The locked door on Saturday morning, 5 calls, 10 days, and here is her daughter in an emergency room with a liver that is shutting down. The doctor asks what medications she's been given. Tylenol, children's Tylenol, for 4 days. Should stop immediately. Acetaminophen is processed by the liver. In a child whose liver is already compromised, every dose adds toxic loads to an organ with nothing left. Marin knows this. She has said these exact words across the pharmacy counter hundreds of times. Do not take acetaminophen if your liver is compromised. She gave 4 days of it to her own daughter because nobody knew the liver was the thing that was failing. Nobody knew. That's the point. If you're exposed to hepatitis A and you are unvaccinated, you can receive the vaccine within 14 days of exposure. In most cases, this prevents the disease entirely. The window was open when the family landed at O'Hare. It was open while they unpacked, open while Wren drew the temple elephant in her journal. It closed silently 2 weeks before the first symptom appeared. The prevention existed, the information did not. Day 2 in the hospital, Wren becomes confused, asks her mother the same question twice, then 3 times, falls asleep mid-sentence. Hepatic encephalopathy. The toxins her liver can no longer filter are crossing into her brain. The waste that should have been cleared is poisoning the organ that makes her laugh and draw elephants and ask for a second glass of lime juice. Fulminant hepatic failure. Rare in hepatitis A. In children, extremely rare. Fewer than 1 in 100 in symptomatic cases. But when it happens, mortality reaches 80% without transplant. Statistics do not comfort the family sitting on the wrong side of them. The transplant team is contacted. Caleb is in the hallway outside the ICU. He's not spoken since the word transplant. On his phone is a photo from 3 weeks ago. Wren sitting on an elephant in Kerala, laughing. He built every piece of this trip. The flights, the hotels, the restaurant with the tablecloths. He calls his brother that night and says one sentence, I planned this. His brother tells him that is not what happened. Caleb does not call him again for 2 weeks. Marin calls her mother in Peoria. Mom, Wren is in the hospital. She tells her everything, the juice, the ice, the vaccine they fought to get and could not. Her mother does not say, I knew something was wrong. She does not say, I should have done more. She says, she is tough. She will fight this. Day 3, liver enzymes stop rising. They plateau. Day 4, they begin to fall. Day 6, Wren wakes up fully alert. She sees her mother. She asks for a colored pencil. She draws an elephant, a wobbly one, smaller than the ones she usually draws, but an elephant. Day 9, discharged. Her liver will need monitoring for months. Blood draws every 3 weeks. But hepatitis A does not become chronic. Unlike hepatitis B or C, it does not linger. Her liver will fully recover. She will carry antibodies for life. She did not need a transplant. The doctors used the word lucky. Marin heard it and thought about 3 ice cubes in a tall glass in a restaurant with cloth napkins, and a vaccine sitting on back order in a suburb of Chicago while her family boarded a plane. Lucky. 4 weeks before the trip, a nurse at a travel clinic put a needle in each of their arms, 1 dose of hepatitis A vaccine. Within 1 month, that single dose provides 94 to 100% protection. Caleb and Marin drank the same juice, same glass, same ice. Their immune systems recognized the virus, neutralized it, and cleared it. They never felt a thing. Their daughter had no vaccine, no antibodies, no shield of any kind. Same restaurant, same table, same ice. The parents were vaccinated. Their daughter was not. Wren is 8 now. She does not remember much of the hospital. She remembers the juice was cold and sweet. She remembers the elephant at the temple more. She still draws them. She draws them better now. Marin went back to Walgreens. She now asks every customer picking up a travel prescription the same question. Have your children been vaccinated for hepatitis A? Both doses? She does not ask it casually. She asks it the way someone asks who has seen what the answer costs. And when the customer says they're not sure, Marin does not tell them to check with their pediatrician. She pulls up their records herself, right there at the counter. Caleb has not booked another international trip. Every time the family travels now, Marin's mother calls the night before. Same question. All three? Marin does not wave it off. She pulls up the records, every vaccine, every dose, every line. Yes, Mom, all three. I checked. I will always check. Here's what I need you to understand. Hepatitis A is one of the most preventable serious infections in the world. 2 doses of a vaccine that has existed for decades, over 95% effective. And yet it infects approximately 1.4 million people worldwide every year. In the United States alone, more than 44,000 cases were reported between 2016 and 2020. In 2022, frozen strawberries sold across multiple states sickened dozens. This is not a foreign disease. It lives everywhere sanitation fails, even briefly. It does not care about borders or restaurant ratings or tablecloths. The hepatitis A vaccine is on the CDC's routine childhood schedule. 2 doses, but it is not required for school entry in most states. There is no gate, no alarm. If your child's records have a gap, no system will catch it. You have to look. If you travel anywhere hepatitis A is endemic, bottled water is not enough. Ask about the ice. If the restaurant cannot confirm the ice is made from purified or boiled water, drink from the sealed bottle only. No ice. The clean restaurant with the air conditioning and the printed menu can still serve you ice made from the same tap water you were trying to avoid. If you come home and weeks later your child develops fever, nausea, dark urine, or yellow skin, tell the doctor where you traveled. Say these words: I need a hepatitis A test. Do not give acetaminophen for a fever until liver function has been checked. They will not think of it. You have to. A grandmother in Peoria heard her daughter say the vaccine was not available in time. She went quiet on the phone. There was nothing she could do from her kitchen 3 hours away. 2 parents were vaccinated. 1 child was not. Not because her parents forgot, not because they did not care, because a supply chain failed, a prescription was never signed, and a doctor's office was dark on the one Saturday morning it mattered. Same restaurant, same glass, same juice, same ice. The parents drank it and flew home fine. Their daughter drank it and almost did not come home at all. The parents did everything right. The system did not. And the ice did not wait. This is Diagnosis Glitch. I'll see you in the next waiting room.